I'm going to start off this video by saying I mainly bought packaging supplies that were made in the US and were made of recycled materials. Now that does not make these the cheapest options, but a lot of the items I used, you could find cheaper options of it if you didn't care where it was made or if it was made of recycled materials. First, I'm going to start off with these paper packaging sleeves, and you could get these in a lot of different sizes. The brown ones I'm showing here are from NashvilleWraps.com, and they were made in the USA. The ones that are chevron are not USA made, and those are from GemsOnDisplay.com, and those ones are much cheaper. So if you want the cheaper option, you could go with the ones like the chevron ones. And then if there was a size that I couldn't get a design on it, I would often put my own label on it, like a large, like half of a shipping label size on the package. And with that, you could either take shipping label paper and you could cut it in half, so that way you would have 4 labels, or you could buy it where it has 4 of them already and you wouldn't need to cut it. Now with these paper packaging sleeves, near the end, I closed them up with a custom sticker. Now this video is kind of about not having to buy custom items, and what I did at the beginning is I would print my own sort of like a sticker on label paper, and then I would just use that to close up the sleeves. In this example, I have a warning label, but obviously you would put something like your logo on it. You would just fold over the top of the paper sleeve, you would put that label on it, and then a lot of these sleeves are the right size that they can just slide right into a poly bag. Now if you're not using poly bags and your items don't fit in these paper sleeves, you might want to go the tissue paper route. Now tissue paper can get pricey. I know I bought some off of Staples, but I wouldn't really recommend that because it is expensive. I do know GemsOnDisplay.com has tissue paper. I've never really used it, so I can't really tell you the quality of it, but it seems like a really good price. For poly mailers, I just use gray poly mailers from Eco Enclose. Now these were made in the USA and made of recycled content, but they definitely weren't cheap, and sometimes the edging wouldn't be sealed quite right and it would come apart, and then I would have to tape it. Now the one I'm showing here, it was sealed correctly, but that's just something to be aware of, that sometimes I'd come across ones that were not sealed quite right. Although that didn't happen super often. And there was a lot of different sizes of these poly mailers, so it was nice to be able to use the different sizes. And the smaller the size, usually a little cheaper it was, although they were still pricey, but they were very durable. For paper items that I didn't want to be bent during transit, I would use rigid mailers, and I would get my rigid mailers from Eco Enclose. Now again, these are not the cheapest rigid mailers that you can find, although I did like the quality of them. But one thing with rigid mailers, although they are quite sturdy on their own, I felt like I always needed something extra in it, because I just felt like with it alone that postal workers were gonna just bend it anyway. So from Eco Enclose, you can buy cardboard inserts or just like cardboard sheets, and you can get that done in custom sizes. So that's what I did. So I had some sheets made, and then I would just put it inside of the rigid mailer, and then you'll see once it's in the rigid mailer, it's a lot harder to bend the rigid mailer. Now if you don't have the budget to buy the cardboard sheets, you can cut off some flaps of cardboard boxes. Let's say you have a lot of stuff shipped to you, just cut off some clean flaps and stick it in there. Granted, you likely will run out of those because you probably won't get in as many boxes as you are going to be shipping out. And then also on the topic of paper products, from Eco Enclose, you can get custom cut boxes. And I recommend these if you are selling thinner and longer items, because you might not be able to get a box size that's under a cubic foot. Once you get larger than a cubic foot, a lot of the shipping services will charge you more for your boxes. Also, at the time of making this video, if your package has a side that is longer than 22 inches, USPS will add $4 to your shipping cost. And if you have a size longer than 30 inches, they will add $15 to the price of your shipping cost. So I would get these boxes made to the custom size, and then to ship them, they wouldn't really cost any more than a poly mailer because they were smaller than a cubic foot, and there was no size larger than 22 inches. For my coupons, because I often change them up a lot, like I was sending a different coupon about every week to every week and a half, I was printing them my own because I wasn't going to be making enough to justify ordering from something like Vistaprint. And I would just print these on cardstock. So I was just getting cardstock from Staples. There likely are cheaper places to get cardstock, and maybe on some place like Amazon. I just avoid shopping on Amazon because I wanted to support other businesses than Amazon as like the giant corporation it is. And with these coupons, I would just staple them right onto the packing slips. And then I do also want to say a good touch that all it does is require a little bit of time and a pen is writing thank you on the packing slip. So I would write thank you for ordering. And if you know someone has ordered more than once, it can be very helpful to write thanks again or thanks for ordering again, because then they know you've taken the time to notice that they are not a first-time customer and that they are a repeat customer. And I do want to give an honorable mention to You Pack and Ship. This is probably the first company I was buying my products from. Now, a lot of these are not USA made, but if you want poly mailers with designs, it can be a very good website. And then here at the end of the video, I'm just going to show a bunch of different videos all at once of me packing up my items, just so you can kind of see how it all went together.